Hi cubies and newbies, I am Sunshine. I'm the creator of the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cube. This is that method. Formula A is 4 moves right there. Formula B is 8 moves. For every left there's a right, for every up there's a down, so it's a mathematical zero, it's a commutator, and which means it's only going to move the pieces that you want to move. As such, it solves every complexity Rubik's Cube. You don't have to, by altering different which columns you use. You don't have to memorize which columns to use to do what thing. You just have to pick a piece that's wrong and apply the formula to that piece, and it will land where it wants to be. Works on every complexity Rubik's Cube, every complexity Minx. Good. Hi, you guys. Oh, somebody left. I hope they have a good day. All right. This cube already has the corners done. Let's go back. Let's scramble a 3x3 so we can demonstrate what we're doing. All right. We've got. Hi, you guys. Okay. The first thing, quick overview of what the pieces do before I start. Formula A is one row, one column. Usually the bottom row and the right column, because I'm right-handed. That's what I did. Out, down, in, up. It brings this piece to the top and this piece down. It also does the same thing for these ones, and it does something to these three edges as well. But if we do it twice, this piece that's moved down has come back up again, and it's twisted itself. 2 more times, it's twisted again. So this is how you can twist a corner without messing up any of the other rest of the cube. You do have to mess up 2 corners, but you don't mess up the rest of the cube. So that's what Formula A does. You can use it to bring a piece to the top, or you can twist the corners around. Again, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. When the corner is where you want it to be, move it away, and continue your set of 6 with a different cube, with different corner that you don't mind moving. And so that's a nice safe move. If you use it if you do the center piece, if you apply that to the center piece, then it gives you boxes. Middle row, middle column. Move the piece away, move the space down, move the piece in, and the cube and the space back up again, and it moves the center piece. Now, Formula A always affects all 6 sides when you're doing it. So you can do Formula A for the entire first face, but you can't do it for the other side. So we do Formula B for everything else. So Formula B moves 3 pieces around. If it's the top row and the outside column, it's going to move corners around, up, up, down, down. Again, it's a commutator, mathematical zero. So the rest of the cube does not get affected, but 3 pieces and only 3 pieces move. Okay. Once has the effect of going clockwise, twice has the effect of going counterclockwise, and 3 times gets you back to your beginning. Okay, so top row outside columns is corners. Top row and outside column and inside column moves the edges around, and it always only moves 3 pieces. And 2 inner columns, up, second up, down, second down, moves the center pieces around. So with Formula B, you can move the corners or the edges or the centers. Up, slide to a separate column, up, down, and down. And that's all I need for everything. It does the same thing for the minxes. The difference between a cube and a minx is that the cube can have a parity, which is undone by a single quarter turn. Minx can't have parities, but it does have an order of operations If one of your two columns is the center column, you get ancillary movements more than just the 3 you want. So if you do the star parts first before the non-star parts, you don't have to redo anything that you've already done. So that's it. Now I will solve a cube. I am set up to teach in real time, which means I can teach up to 4 cubes at a time, 4 people at a time. I just do a gameplay capture on my Zoom meeting. So if there's anyone who wants to learn one-on-one with me or 4-on-1 with me, we can set that up. That'll be fun. So this one has the corners already done, so I'm going to do the corners on this one. You can be color neutral. I usually start with orange, with yellow, because all of my cubes have a yellow, and all of my cubes have every other color on it. Not all cubes are colored the same way. And yellow is also convenient for the 3x9 because it's one of the three side colors. All right, so you hold the cube in your hand with your left thumb on top of the piece the corner that you've chosen. You're going to make the rest of the cube match it. That corner is correct, and everything else is going to be made to match it. So the first thing to do is to bring, in my case, yellow. We're going to bring yellow to the top on all 4 corners. We don't care yet if the sides match. We're going to check with that after we bring the yellow to the top on everything first. So looking at this corner, there either is a yellow or is not a yellow. If there's is, formula A. If it's on the top, we'll just slide it and protect it and keep going. If it's not on the top, formula A will bring it to the top. But if there's no yellow, you look at the corner underneath it, and as long as there's a yellow in one of these 2 squares, one of these 2 corners, A will bring it to the top. If not, rotate the bottom by a 1/4 turn until the answer is yes, that there is a yellow somewhere, and then formula A will bring it to the top. So bottom row, right column, this piece is going to come to the top. We start by moving it away from the action, and then we move the space down, the cube into the space, and the cube in the action back up again. That's formula A. And we do it until the yellow is on top, because it will bring the yellow to the top. Okay? When the yellow is on top, slide it out of the way to keep it safe, to protect it, and your left thumb can protect that. And now we're looking here. Is there a yellow here or here? If the answer is yes, either one or both, then formula A will bring it to the top. Out, down, in, up. Okay? Slide the top, keep the cube stable, slide the top and only the top. And then we keep doing formula A until all 4 corners have yellow on top. So there's no yellow here or here. Now there is. Formula A will bring it to the top. At this point in time, one of 3 things has happened. Either each corner has 3 colors. We've only been looking at one, so now we're going to look at the others. Either the sides will match each other and be correct in position to each other, or all of them will match, none of them will match, or one side will match. You can't have any other situation because of the nature of the cube. So if they all match, then you proceed to the next step. If none of them match, it doesn't matter which way you hold the cube to do the next step. What's going to happen is that if none of them match after you do this next phase, then one side will match. If one side does match, you hold it facing away from you, facing towards the back, facing away from you. And you do formula B, top row, outside columns, up, up, down, down. And that moved 3 pieces around. We're going to we already know that formula A brings the yellow back to the top, so without twisting the cube, without rotating the cube, we're going to do formula A and bring the yellow back to the top. And in so doing, all of the pieces will now match to each other. Okay, now it looks like we moved 2 pieces because the back side matched and the front didn't, and now they all do. But what we did is we moved these ones moved over here in relation to each other, and this one moved here, which has the effect of moving 2, but you never move 2, you always moving 3. So then we can set those corners up. We can also set up our center. Okay, with the yellows done, put them face down. We're working on the second 4 corners. We're doing it the exact same way, except we check to see which color is common to all of them. They all have a white. Because on this cube, white is opposite yellow. On this cube, red is opposite yellow. So we have to find, if you know your cube well enough to know what's opposite, then you don't have to look. But it's the color that's common to all four corners. And it is not a color that's touching the yellow, just because that's how the cubes work. So we know it's white. If any of them are white on top already, we're going to keep them there. If none of them are, we'll just bring the white to the top. And so the bring the white to the top is formula A. And so we're not looking to see if there's our colors on one of these cubes. We've already established that. So we just do formula A until the white is on top. Slide the top to protect that cube, and continue with the next corner until the white's on top on all four corners. And when white is on top on all four corners, then we can reassess the yellow. You saw that the yellow is dancing all around, and if you look at it, the bottom, before you've got the yellow all on top, you can get discouraged and think you messed up. But the fact is that we're abandoning the yellow because we know it will take care of itself, because formula B and formula A don't mess up anything except for the pieces that you want to move. So white's on top, yellow's happy, red matches red, blue does not equal orange, green does not equal blue, and orange does not equal green. So again, we have one side that matches. If none of them match, it doesn't matter which way we hold it. We're going to do the same, these steps, and then one side will match. And when one side matches, you hold it facing away from you. And then formula B for corners, top row, outside columns, slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. And we just moved 3 cubes around. We know this one stayed where it was, but we're going to use formula A to bring the white back to the top. Slide back to the top, slide back to the top, and only when the white's on top do I look to see if my yellows are still happy, and they are. So now the first 4 corners are correct to each other, the second 4 corners are correct to each other. All you need to do is rotate the top row as needed to make the top and bottom corners match, and your 8 corners are now done. On a 4x4, that's all. On a 2x2, that's all you need to do. On every other cube, the corners being done dictates for the cube what color each face is going to be. Back in the 80s, we used to work around the absolute center because it doesn't move. It was one single piece. It doesn't move in relation to itself. That went out the window when the 4x4 came along. But if it's not broke, don't fix it. We still kept working around the centers because that's what we knew. But this changes that. I'm working, no matter what I'm working on, when I teach all of the cubes at the same time, and they all have corners, so we start with corners. Not all of them have the other types of pieces, so we don't worry about that. So, the corners are done, and at this point in time when I'm teaching in real life, I say, that's great! Now do it on this cube, now do it on this cube. Good, now do this one, now do this one. I teach brand new, I teach non-cubers. So we teach the first most of an hour just doing corners. We do formula A, really get formula A solidly down before we move to formula B, and once we've got corners, we just keep doing corners until we're really comfortable with corners, we know what we're doing. And then I will say that you now know everything you need to solve all of them. The difference is, the only thing you need to do differently is, whereas if you use the top row on the outside columns, you're moving corners. But if you alter which columns you use, then you're moving different pieces around. And so what you do is you pick a piece that you want to move, and you apply formula B to that piece. So here, for instance, is a white and orange piece. Okay, actually, first thing, since I've been looking at white and yellow, I'm going to keep looking for white and yellow at this stage of the game. So holding the cube so that yellow and white are left and right, I look for a piece that's not on the outside columns and that has either yellow or white. And if I find one, then that's the cube I'm going to place next. I want the yellow or white to be on the top, not the front, so I will flip the cube so it's on front, but yellow and white are still left and right in some manner. So I bring the corners to match the front. And like I said, if it's the outside columns, it moves corners, but if it's 2 other columns, it's going to move something else. So I'm going to apply B to this piece, and the corners match the front. The blue and white is going to land above the blue and white something corner. So it's not going in this direction, it's going in this direction. Okay, and the first move is going to be away. So I'm going to move this piece. This is my first column, is where it's going to land. Second column is where it begins. And if you look at Formula B, every other move is horizontal, every other horizontal is reverse the one before it. So this is going to go over here. I'll start by moving out of the way. So first up, back, second up, back, first down, second down, and this piece went here. 3 pieces and only 3 pieces moved. You can't really tell that when the cube scrambled, but 3 pieces and only 3 pieces moved. In that instance, the B moved to the right. Let's find a case where it wants to move to the left. So that you can see. All right, I'm just going to play with what I have. Okay, so I find a piece, yellow and white are left and right, match the corners, determine its direction based on the bottom corners. Okay, so it's going over here, away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and it is placed. Okay, find another white or yellow in the middle. Okay, corners match the front, it's going this direction, slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. It's going this way. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Why can't I find one going the other direction? Up, up, down, down. Just find a piece, find a yellow or white, place them one piece at a time, over and over. Up, up, down, down. Okay. Bring the corners to match the front. It's going this direction. Up, up, down, down. And they all went to the right. I don't know how that happened. But when you have no more white or yellow in the middle, then you check the sides, the opposite edges, to see if they're correct. They either will be or they won't be. If they are, then you move to the next step. If they're not, it's because one of them is placed incorrectly. For example, a white might be on the yellow side, a yellow might be on the yellow side but in the wrong place, it might be in the right place, might be flipped, doesn't matter. So when the opposite edges are done, then you proceed to the next step, which for the 3x3 would be to do the side edges, but I'm going to do the opposite edges on this one before I do that. So again, hold the cube, yellow and white, left and right, as dictated by the corners. Find a piece in the middle that has yellow or white, and that's the piece that I'm going to place. Okay, corners match the front. This one is going in the left direction, so it is B as written. If it's going in the right direction, you do the mirror of it. Move it away. You just move it away from the side it wants to land on, and then back in. So away, up, in, second up, away, down, in, second down, and it is placed. Now I'm not spending my time pairing up edges because it's not actually helpful to do so. It actually it increases your probability of getting a parity because you want the slices to be able to rotate freely until you get to the end. But so corners match the front. It's going in this direction. First move is away, up, in, second up, away, down, back down. Okay, and I don't spend time looking for a particular piece. I don't say where's my green and yellow piece and let's put that next. I just find a piece in the middle that is yellow or white. Hold it so my yellow or white is on top. And at the corners, determine its direction, and away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And we do that until there's no more yellow or white in our middle columns. Okay, corners match the front. So we've established. We're establishing is that Formula B applied to a piece will move a edge piece, applied to an edge piece will move an edge piece from the top front to the side front. Now, if I only wanted to do B as written, I could do that. I could, instead of moving this piece to the right, when I was first figuring out if I could do it, would just be I would move it, hold it so it wants to go to the left, and then I would place it incorrectly, and then fix it later. So if all you want, so you can do it with just Formula B, but it's easier when you incorporate the opposite of the mirror of Formula B as well. So you can place them correctly placed or incorrectly placed, but you're moving the yellow and whites out from the middle, and then these two can be flipped together later. All right, so here make the corners match the front, determine its direction. Okay, away up, in up, away down, in down. Another piece on top. Okay, it's going this direction. So away from the action, first column up, back into where it began, and now it is placed. We bring that side back down and back down. So it's 8 moves. The ending moves you can skip for the opposite edges, but I do by muscle memory, so I don't skip, even though you can. This is not a fastest move. This is not a speed solve method. It is not a fewest moves method. But when I teach a non-cuber, it generally takes less than, it has not yet exceeded 2 hours in total teach time. 2 1-hour sessions, and they walk away with knowing that being able to solve any complexity cube. Corners match the front. It's going this direction. Slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. Another one. It's going in this direction. All of these want to move, so I can move the garbage pieces into here as well when I place this one. But before I do, let's see if any other blue and yellows magically want to be placed at the same time, and they don't. So I'm going to move all 3 of these out by slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Feel free to ask me any questions. Okay, so this one, I've been placing this one opposite, so I'm going to do that again just because, so that I can move the 3 of them at the same time. So it's lined up. The red and yellow is going to land in between the red and yellow sides. Slide up, slide down, slide down. And then later on, I'll have 2 edges that I can swap, and I can swap them. I can flip these right now just to demonstrate how to do it. I just take a garbage piece, some garbage pieces, and I throw them in where these spaces are to move them out where I can work on them. I'm going to treat them as one piece because they're paired up. So away up, in up, away down, in down, and line them up again and place them correctly. Up, up, down, down. Okay, so looking for yellow or whites, here's one. Corners match the front. Move it away from where it's going to land, move its landing space up, bring it back in and place it on that back row, and then down and down. So for every left there's a right, for every up there's a down. Every other move is horizontal, every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. So you're only moving the pieces that you want to move. Here's another one, in the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction, away up, in up, away down, in down, and we're just as long as there's yellow or whites. Okay, yellow and white are left and right, colors on top, corners match the front. It's going in this direction. 2, 3, okay. Both of these want to move out. This one wants to stay the same, so I'm going to treat these as one. up, up, down, down. Okay. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction, but these ones want to move out as well. So let's see if there's anything else convenient to place. Okay. So I'm going to move all three of these out because this one's going in and these ones are coming out. So up, up, down, down. And again, I am set up to do this through a zoom, which means that I can see your cube and I can match what the cube in your hands is. My biggest criticism of of walkthroughs, tutorials, is what I'm doing right here. Is that I'm walking through this cube, but this may not be what your cube looks like. So, which is why when in my YouTube playlist and on abcube.how, I'm solving multiple cubes at the same time, doing the same step from different cubes, so that there's more of a higher probability that I'm doing something that you can relate to on your cube. All right, so this cube wants to come down. 1, 2, 3. This one wants to come down with it. So away up, in up, away down, in down. So feel free to ask me any questions, interrupt anything if anything I'm doing is confusing. This one, corners match the front, is going in this direction. This one's correct, but let's see if this one wants to land too, and it does. Okay, so away up, in up, away down, in down. And if you or someone you know wants to learn how to do my method and is willing to allow me to stream on my Zoom, then I'm happy to teach that one-on-one. Corners, okay, white's on top. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. This one's correct. This cube wants to be placed, but I don't know where it is. So I'm just going to place this one. Up, up, down, down. Okay. And over, lather, rinse, repeat until there's no more yellows or whites in the middle. Away up, in up, away down, in down. Okay. And you'll notice that among Formula A and Formula B, I do not have anything that looks like a parity algorithm. It's because parities are a lie. You don't need to play with them unless you want to. Formula B always moves 3 pieces around. And there will always be, if there are more than one piece, if there's one piece, there's at least 3 pieces to move, 3 or more. Corners on top, or colors on top, corners match the front. Slide up, slide down, slide down. No yellow or white here, no yellow or white here, no yellow or white here, no yellow or white here. So now we look and see, either we're checking the opposite edges, and either they are correct or they might not be. In this case, they are. If they were not, then I would throw a garbage piece into the spot that has the misplaced piece, which would bring it to the middle where I can then place it correctly. All right, so edges are done, side edges are done, opposite edges are done on both of these cubes. So now we're still working on edges. Now's when I place the center. If I didn't place it before, I can now. Just make sure that the piece on the middle wants to go to the top. Move it out, down, in, up, and then line up the center before we start doing the sides. So white goes face down, so we're working with yellow again. And the yellows are correct, so we check the sides. This one's not correct, so we're going to displace a yellow piece into this piece, which will bring it to the top where I can work with it. I'm going to keep white's face down until the rest of all the edges are solved. So, to move this cube to the top, I will put this cube down into there. So slide up, slide down, and then find the piece on top that's not the top color. Line it up to the rest of the cube, determine its direction, away up, in up, away down, in down. It's just more of Formula B. Okay. Bring the corners to match the front, determine its direction. We're going to keep doing this until our yellow finds its way back to the top. If it finds its way back to the top, either correctly or incorrectly, doesn't matter. When the yellow is back to the top layer, not necessarily the top face, but the top layer, then it's time to reassess the edges and see how we're doing. This one's correct, this one's not, this one's not. So some of them are correct and some of them are not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, displace a yellow into an incorrect side so that it can come to the top and I can work on it. I can displace any yellow, but I'm going to displace one of my incorrect yellows because that's more convenient. So slide up, slide down, and the corners to match the front. And I'm going to keep placing this until the yellow comes back to the top again, and then I will again assess. Okay. Bring the corners to match the front, determine its direction, up, up, down, down. Yellow came back to the top, that's great. Assess the sides are correct. These are also in the correct place, but they both need to be flipped. Okay. And now I know how to flip adjacent pieces using Formula B. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip these two, and then I'm going to flip these two. Okay. I could just set them up so that the pieces to be flipped are the top front and the front left position, but that would involve having to reset it afterward, and it's easy to get confused that way. So I'm going to, this piece that wants to be flipped, I'm going to move down to this piece. I'm going to displace, correct, this piece is also going to flip, so I'm going to put this piece in here. Okay, that put the piece to the back. I'm going to bring it forward, and then we're going to place it again. So it moved 3 pieces, but one piece, the first piece came forward and then back again. So it had the effect of only moving 2 pieces, but because the third piece went forward and then back again. I'll do this again. So I'm going to put this piece here. This piece will come to the front, and then I'm going to bring it back around and place it. So up, up, down, down, bring it to the top and place it up, up, down, down. And that's how you flip 2 edges, 2 edge pieces. So same thing on this one, yellow and white are left and right. So white goes face down, and now I'm going to work on the side edges. This one's correct, these 2 are not. None of these are. Okay, so depending on how big your cube is, you can either work with 1 layer at a time, and then when the yellow comes back to the top, then you can do the next layer, or you can go all the way from up through the middle layer in your displacement. And that way you can work on more pieces at a time without having to waiting to reassess. So we've displaced yellows down here. These yellows came forward. As I work with the not yellows, they're going to come back into place. So they're going to bop back and forth, correct and incorrect, until the yellows come back to the top. So I'm going to work on the top row not yellow until the yellows come back to the top. My white center is placed, so I'm going to line up the blue before I get the centers, all of my centers before I get started. If you can't do that because you have a void cube, you might end up with a parity at the end, but the parities are all solved by the exact same thing, so it doesn't matter. So corners match the front, it's going in the orange direction. So B as written, I move this away, first up, back, second up, away, down, back, down, and this piece is now placed, and this piece moved back from here. I'm going to, before I work on that piece, I'm going to work with this one. It's also not yellow, so I line it up. The corners match the front. It's going in this direction, away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, that's placed. Corner piece on top that's not the top color is red and green. Corners match the front, is going in the green direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Now this one, line the corners to match the front, it's going in this direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. I'm going to keep doing this until the yellows come back to the top. So again, I look at the other side. Corners match the front. This one's going in this way. Away up, in, up, away down, in, down. This one's going this way. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. So it's always one row, top row, and 2 columns. Okay, one of the yellows came back to the top, one of them didn't. We're gonna keep working on the not yellows before we assess for the yellows being back in place. So corners match the front, it's going in this direction. Up, up, down, down. Corners to match the front, determine its direction. Up, up, down, down. And the yellow came back to the top. So we've set the corners correctly. And now we'll check the sides. This one's correct. This one is not. This one is not. These ones are correct. So here there's 2 corners and only 2 corners that want to be where the other one is. This is one way a parody can look. Okay. I'm going to work with this parody and force it to show up on the same layer because it's easier for me to rotate 1/4 turn when I do that. So I'm going to displace this yellow into this incorrect piece. Okay. And place this piece where it belongs. And this piece where it belongs. Okay. At the top. Now so the side edges are correct now, but all I did was move the parody from where it was to the top layer. Okay. Now if I want to keep my yellow on top, then I will displace this again, and the place that it lands is the layer that is a 1/4 turn off. So this layer is a 1/4 turn off. So I'm going to rotate that a 1/4 turn and then place the edges again correctly. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, and set the top, and the parody is gone. If I wanted to go color neutral, the parody was here and here. I would have just moved that parody to my front face, and that would be the slice that I moved a 1/4 turn, and then I would have set those 3 edges using. You have algorithms that will set those edges, but I just use formula B. Okay, so now that the edges, when I did the corners, the 2x2 was solved. When I did the absolute centers and the edges, then the 3x3 got solved. So on everything else, all that's left now is the centers. And the centers can be done with formula B. Like I said, you can use formula A for one face and one face only, if you want to. So I can do that. So let's line this up so it's going to land there. I move it away. I move the space down. I move the piece into the space and the piece in the space back up again, and then set my sides. This one wants to land here is good. Away, down, in, up. Okay. Here's one. Okay. Out, down, in, up. These whites are on the bottom, so it's a little more complex set that way. So just bring them to the top. And one more. Okay, so I can't do formula A for this one unless I first move it to the front. So let's line it up so it can land here. I'm going to do Formula B. So up, slide to a different column, second up, down, down, set the top. And now I can, it wants to go here, I can do it Formula A, out, 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 down, in, up. Okay, so you can use A for one face, but only one face. Everything else is Formula B. You're using the top row and 2 columns, and if one of the piece you're moving is the diagonal, you have to be careful which way you're turning the top to set it up, because you have to make sure you are actually using 2 columns. If I line it up like this and I go up and I turn it this way, that's still in the same column. So it have to incorporate a second column. So up, up, and then my edges are lined up to keep me on track for the pieces that I'm moving. Okay, so I don't lose track as I'm dealing with larger and larger and larger cubes. The edges demonstrate, the bottom edges that come to the front demonstrate which columns I'm working on, so I can get interrupted without losing where I am. Okay, so here's some blues. I'm going to move them to the top. So you pick a piece that's incorrect, hold it on the face, line it up so that it can land on top. So these blues are going to land on top. I'm going to bring these oranges down. So I go up, slide up, reverse down, set the top, and keep going. So here's another blue. It's going to land right here, so I can bring down the blue, the yellow, or the orange. And this, I'm going to leave this red alone because it doesn't help any. So up, slide to a different column, second up, down, and down. So it's every other move is horizontal, and then we've got an up and up and a down and down. This red wants to move twice, so let's bring this orange into place. So up, up, down, down, slide the top, follow this red through. I don't want to bring the green down, so I'll bring a yellow down, so it's going to land here. Now, it doesn't really matter which way you turn the top row to get a second column, unless you're making pretty patterns on the front. So this one's going to land here. If I want this piece to move in here, then I'll move into that space. And if I want this piece to move into here, I'll move into this space. So unless you're making pretty patterns, it really doesn't matter. Just as long, but the columns are there to remind you which columns you're on. So I went up, slide, second up, reverse down, and reverse down. Set the top. Okay, another red. Let's bring down this yellow. Up, slide up, reverse down, just at the top. Hi everybody, if you've just joined me, I am Sunshine. I'm demonstrating the ABCube method on my 5x5 now. We've done the corners, we've done the edges, we've gotten rid of the parity that showed up, and so now we're just doing the centers. We used Formula A as a shortcut for the white face, but we're using Formula B for everything else. So here's a green. It wants to line up with this red. So I'm going to up, slide into a different column, second up, reverse, and the bottom color that comes up to the front is a visual reminder of which columns I'm on, so I don't get messed up, don't get distracted. Okay, this green will land here, so I can bring down either the blue or the yellow. Let's bring down the blue since it has to be jumped twice anyway. So up, up, down, down. Okay, here's a red to bring up, up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse down, set the top. Okay, here's a blue. Okay, I'm gonna bring the yellow down, up, up, down, down. And because I've done the corners and the edges, like I said, that keeps me on track of where I am so I don't get confused. All right, so here's some blues. can't actually place them together because they're not together. Let's see if I can place these greens as, no, I can't place the greens as one either. Okay, so I'm going to do the corner first. Up, slide, up, reverse, down, and now, like I said, if someone talked to me and I know I have to finish the step, I'm like, did I go this way? No, this is the way that I went. So I can see that's why I've done the edges first. They're my cheat sheet to make sure I've got it. Okay, so here's another blue. Line it up, slide, second up, reverse down. Okay, so now we've got a red and green. Let's do this red. Up, slide, up, reverse down, set the top. And I can do the corner first. Up, slide, down, set the top. And then one last piece. Up, slide, second up, reverse down. So, Formula A, Formula B, all you need, every complexity, no matter how big it is. Also does the minxes. Minxes have an order of operation. Cubes can have a parity, which is solved by a single quarter turn, and then you don't have to memorize your parity algorithms anymore. All right, so anyone have any comments or questions before I close out? Let me know. Send me a message. Let me know if you want to help me demonstrate live on my Zoom call. I'm going to do a gameplay capture, so you guys can see me and the up to four people that I'm teaching. I can see their cubes and what they're doing at the same time, so I can teach more efficiently one-on-one or one-on-four. So yeah, bring me your non-cuber friends if you wanna. And in the meantime, thank you for joining me. Thanks for watching me play with my cubes. Go have a wonderful weekend. Go have a wonderful rest of your day and be nice to yourself. And I'll be back here tomorrow morning. You want to say bye? Okay, bye you guys.